Hello, my name is Rupert Douglas Bate and I'm director and founder of Global MapAid, which is a development mapping organisation, and our patron is Desmond Tutu. We make maps to show variations in economic poverty and also the solutions to economic poverty. We also make maps of social items and the variations in those items, things like orphanages and medical care and drought and HIV. And so here is a typical map that we made in Ethiopia showing microfinance across the city of Addis Ababa, which is the capital. Unfortunately, every 10 or 15 years in Ethiopia there is a drought, and 2016 is such a year. And here we are in January, and 18 million people today are facing imminent starvation because of the drought. That figure could rise to 50 million in the next few months. Unfortunately, again in Ethiopia, no more than 7 to 10% of the farmers that could have irrigation actually have it. And that's out of a population of 75 million people who depend directly on agriculture for their livelihoods. The goal of our project in Ethiopia is to map irrigation credit across all of Ethiopia and be able to distribute that to donors and to local NGOs and to local finance organisations, all of whom have an interest in agro-credit for irrigation for rural populations. And this will then inform them of where credit is vitally required for irrigation to try to help to begin to put right this situation. One of the major blockages to irrigation is the lack of credit in Ethiopia, and the locations for that lack are completely unknown. Not all microcredit works. However, microcredit for irrigation does work because, as you will appreciate, if you can water your crops, you have a much better chance of making a harvest. In 2011 and 2013, Global MapAid spent several months creating a local team that went out and captured data on microcredit across the city of Addis Ababa. And the outputs of that teamwork, that local teamwork, were two maps. One map shows microcredit per 1,000 head of population, and the other map shows the amount of number of people in receipt of microcredit across the population of Addis Ababa. As you see, there is a greater concentration of credit in the north-south axis across the city, a greater number of people and a greater amount of money in that area. We have done some research and we have talked with the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency, and we have also interacted with the Jamal Poverty Action Lab at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And as a result of those interactions, we have come to the conclusion that by making these maps of agro-credit across the whole of Ethiopia, we'll be able to show clearly to stakeholders where they need to emphasize their efforts in a concerted and professional manner. This project will start in a small area and get it properly worked out in that small area. It will then expand across all of Ethiopia over 3 years and deliver maps to the different stakeholders who are interested in improving irrigation in remote areas and in areas where there is none, and therefore strengthening local communities so that they are better enabled to protect their crops in drought and also increase their harvests in normal years. Global MapAid always works with local partners And in Ethiopia, we work closely with the Ethiopian Women's Exporters Association. And we asked their president, Mrs. Hadia, her opinion about our project.
Thank you very much for approaching us as the President of Ethiopian Women Exporter Association. I'm very happy that you brought us this question because, as you know, women, we have a lot of problem in access to finance, especially when they are in agriculture and in all things. And we don't want, we always talk about micro. Even on the micro side, it is not that much really very big help that they are getting. And when it comes to medium enterprise people, when they reach the bank, they need a big collateral. Collateral means like a plot, like a house, and so on. And until now, in Ethiopia, very few women have houses or something to give for collateral. For this purpose, especially for women, access to finance is very, very difficult. It is why they cannot really, go too far to get something. This kind of help or support will give really a big help to women because they are in Ethiopia. Most of the women are farmers. Okay, they work for their husband, they work for others, and they own also small farms. But it is difficult for them if they want to do even for irrigation. It needs a lot of money. So this kind of help or support will help women. And it is if all women in the rural areas or even in the village, in town, if they get support of financial aid, they can do more. They can do better. In my farm now, for example, we have 80% of women in the farm. No, yeah, 80% are women. Those are doing planting, doing all the jobs are women, except the big, when they need to build something or carrying a stone or something. But other farm, we want the women have got more skill, and they are dedicated, they are devoted, and they do a lot of work. And when it comes to finance, they are very good payers. They even not grant, even when it is loan, they are very, very good payers.
I would also like to introduce Mrs. Wakaferu, who is a colleague of Mrs. Hadia at the Ethiopian Women's Exporters Association, which is one of the most successful agro-marketing consultancies in Ethiopia.
My name is Wakaferu Kidani from Ethiopian Women Exporters Association. So I'm a program manager of the office of EWA. So I am working for different members who engaged in different sectors. So one of the sector is agriculture. We have members, like about 10 members who engaged in the agriculture sector. So they are very much happy if they can do the irrigation in the farming area. It's important for them to irrigate some like water, to process water for their farming. If they have the office around their farming area, that would be very helpful for the farmer.
Thank you, that was most interesting. I also asked Sema Muzel, who was a data collection manager for Global MapAid in 2011 and 13. I asked her why she thought irrigation was so important and why mapping of credit for irrigation could help in Ethiopia.
In my opinion, we have to learn to produce through irrigation instead of waiting for the rain to come. In order to do so, our farmers need financial help to buy the irrigation materials and improved seeds and different kind of things. Most probably this is the responsibility of the financial institutions like banks, microfinances, and such cooperatives and different kind of financial institutions. If the farmers can get credit for irrigation near to their village, that will help them to produce throughout the year in a different times, which will make them capable to feed their family and also the population as a whole. So having financial institutions near to the village is important for irrigation practices, and irrigation is essential for the country at this time, since the climate change is making a big mess all over the world. Thank you.
We have done a careful budget for Ethiopia for our 3-year program there. And as a result of that budget, we've been able to create a cost-benefit analysis, which shows us that for just a 5% reduction in starvation as a result of our maps being in the right hands, then for every £1 we spend on our program, 96 lives are significantly enhanced through a reduction in starvation risk in Ethiopia. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please, if you have ideas or thoughts, email them, and check out the website globalmapaid.org. And if you're ever in Ethiopia, please come and look us up. Thanks.